Jake Miller was used to quiet mornings. Small apartments smelled of cereal and fresh bread from the corner store. Lily, his 7-year-old daughter, was sitting at the tiny kitchen table, swinging her legs back and forth as she poured milk over her cereal. Jake watched her for a moment, feeling both proud and tired. Life had become a constant balance of work, bills, and taking care of Lily. He often thought about how empty his hands felt. He had no one to share his life with, only his daughter, who was his heart and joy. Jake worked long hours at a delivery company. Pay was low and the work exhausting. Every evening he returned home with his shoulders heavy and his mind full of worries, yet he never complained in front of Lily. He wanted to protect her from his struggles. She deserved happiness, warmth, and stability. He reminded himself every day that he had to keep going for her. That morning, Lily asked, "Dad, can we go to the park after breakfast?" Jake smiled, ruffling her hair. "Sure, pumpkin." After they ate, they put on jackets and walked hand in hand to the small park nearby. The sun was warm but gentle. Birds chirped in the trees and children laughed as they played on swings and slides, and Jake felt a little peace for the first time in days. They found a quiet spot under a big oak tree. Lily started drawing with her chalk on the pavement, while Jake leaned back against the tree, watching her. Then, he noticed someone helping an elderly woman across the street. She carried bags that were heavy and struggled with each step. A young woman, not more than 25, smiled and took the bags from the woman. She balanced them and walked with her carefully, making sure she reached the other side safely. Jake's heart stirred in a way it had not in years. There was something in her kindness, something that drew him in. He watched as she turned and noticed Lily waving at her. The girl smiled and walked toward them. "Hello," she said softly. Lily introduced herself, her small voice full of excitement. "I'm Lily. This is my dad, Jake." The woman knelt down to Lily's level and smiled warmly. "I'm Emily Carter. Nice to meet you both." Lily giggled and ran back to her chalk drawings. Jake felt his chest tighten. Emily had a gentle presence, and her eyes were kind. He wanted to speak, but found words failing him. Emily sat on the grass near them, keeping an eye on Lily as she drew. They talked about small things, the weather, the park, and how Lily loved drawing. Jake realized how easy it was to talk to her. He wanted to know more about her, to see her smile more, but he hesitated, afraid he had nothing to offer. He remembered his empty hands, his tired life, and his heart that had not healed from past losses. Lily came running to him. "Dad," she said, "we should ask her to come to the picnic this afternoon." Jake hesitated, then looked at Emily. "Would you like to join us for a small picnic?" he asked quietly. Emily's eyes lit up. "I'd love to," she said. That afternoon, they spread a blanket under the big oak tree and shared sandwiches, juice, and laughter. Jake watched Emily interact with Lily, and he felt warmth he had not felt in a long time. It was a small moment, but it felt important, as if the universe had given him a small spark of hope. For the first time in years, Jake thought maybe love was possible, even for someone with empty hands like him. He held Lily's hand and smiled, watching the two most important girls in his life together, unaware that this simple day would mark the beginning of something that could change everything. After that afternoon at the park, Jake could not stop thinking about Emily. Her smile, her gentle voice, and the way she cared for Lily stayed in his mind. He realized how much he longed for someone who could understand him and share life with him, yet he still felt nervous, unsure if he could truly connect with someone after all the struggles he had faced. The next weekend, Lily insisted they go to the park again. "Dad," she said, "maybe Emily will be there." Jake smiled nervously but agreed. When they arrived, Emily was there, reading a small book under the shade of a tree. Lily ran to her and waved excitedly. Emily smiled and waved back. Jake followed slowly, feeling his heart race. Emily greeted them warmly. "Hello, Lily." "Hello, Jake. It's nice to see you both again." Jake felt a little more relaxed as they walked toward her. They decided to sit on a bench and watch the children play. Jake noticed the way Emily's eyes lit up when she laughed at something Lily did. It was a pure, genuine happiness that he had not seen in a long time. Lily asked Emily if she wanted to join them for ice cream. Emily agreed, and they all walked to a small ice cream stand near the park entrance. Jake felt nervous as they ordered cones. He tried to find the right words to talk to Emily. Finally, he asked, "Do you come to this park often?" Emily smiled. "I like it here. It is peaceful and nice for reading. Sometimes I like to help people too." Jake nodded, noticing her kindness once again. As they walked back to the park, Lily ran ahead to chase a butterfly. Jake and Emily walked slowly behind her. They talked about simple things, their favorite foods, and childhood memories. Jake felt a connection forming, a feeling he had almost forgotten. Emily listened carefully and shared her own stories, making him laugh. A moment he felt as if life could be brighter, that maybe his empty hands could one day be filled with love. Later that afternoon, they sat under the oak tree again. Jake watched Emily gently tease Lily as she showed her drawings. He felt a mix of admiration and longing. He wanted to ask Emily to spend more time with them, but he feared being rejected. Still, Lily's excitement made it easier to speak. "Emily," Jake said, "would you like to come to dinner with us sometime?" Emily looked surprised but happy. "I would love to," she said softly. That evening, Jake and Lily prepared a small meal at home. Lily was busy setting the table with care. "Dad," she said, "I hope Emily likes it." Jake smiled and reassured her, "I think she will love it." When Emily arrived, her eyes brightened at the sight of their simple home and the effort they had put into the meal. They laughed, shared stories, and enjoyed the warmth of the evening. After Emily left, Jake cleaned the dishes while Lily yawned on the sofa. "Dad," she whispered, "maybe Emily is the one for you?" Jake smiled and hugged her. "Maybe," he said quietly, "but I need to be brave." That night, Jake went to bed thinking of Emily and the possibility of love. He realized that small moments, simple gestures, and shared laughter could bring hope even to someone with empty hands. The spark that started at the park was slowly growing into something much deeper. Jake could not stop thinking about Emily after their dinner together. He felt a warmth in his heart he had not felt in years. Yet he also felt fear. Fear that he was not good enough. Fear that his past would hold him back. Fear that someone as kind and beautiful as Emily could never love a man like him. She admired Jake's dedication to his daughter, the way he worked hard to provide for her, and the gentle way he cared for Lily. But she had her own fears. Her last relationship had left her heartbroken, and she was afraid to open up to someone again. She did not want to get hurt or make mistakes. One afternoon, Jake invited Emily to a small community fair with him and Lily. The fair was full of laughter, music, and simple games. Lily ran ahead excitedly, and Jake held Emily's hand, feeling a nervous thrill at the touch. They walked through the stalls, played small games, and shared cotton candy. The simplicity of the day made their bond grow stronger. At the fair, Emily noticed a young man named Nick, who had been her coworker, showing interest in her. He was charming and confident, and he tried to get her attention. Jake saw the interaction from a distance and felt a pang of jealousy. His insecurities flared up, reminding him of his empty hands and the struggles of his life. He wondered if he was enough for her. Later, as they sat on a bench watching the sun set, Emily sensed Jake's unease. She asked, "Are you okay?" Jake nodded, but his voice shook. "I just want to make sure Lily is happy and safe," he said quietly. Emily smiled softly and touched his hand. "You are doing an amazing job, Jake. You are more than enough." Jake felt his heart lighten a little. Her words gave him hope, but he still felt the fear of losing her. Over the next few weeks, Jake and Emily spent more time together. They visited the park, shared small meals, and talked about life. Their laughter became a bridge over the pain they both carried. They found comfort in each other's presence, yet every time Nick appeared, Jake felt the sharp sting of insecurity, unsure if he could truly compete. One day, Jake decided to open up about his past. He told Emily about his late wife and the struggles he faced, raising Lily alone. He admitted his fears about love and feeling unworthy. Emily listened carefully, her eyes full of understanding. She shared her own past heartbreak, the pain of being abandoned, and the lessons she had learned. The honesty between them created a deeper connection, showing that they both understood the fragility of hearts. Lily noticed the closeness growing between her dad and Emily. She loved seeing Jake smile again, seeing the sparkle in his eyes. One afternoon, she whispered to Jake, "Dad, maybe Emily is like family already." Jake smiled and hugged her. "Maybe," he said softly. Their bond was becoming stronger, a mixture of love, trust, and hope. As the part ended, Jake looked at Emily and felt something he had not felt in a long time. He realized he was falling in love. The walls around his heart were beginning to crumble, and he knew that with patience, courage, and honesty, maybe, just maybe, they could have a future together. But challenges lay ahead, and both would need to face their fears before love could truly bloom. Jake had planned to tell Emily how he truly felt that evening. He wanted to tell her he loved her, that she was more than just a friend, that she was the light in his life. He waited for the right moment while Lily played with her toys. When he finally gathered the courage, Emily had stepped out to answer a phone call. During the call, Jake overheard a few words from Nick, who was speaking to Emily. He felt his stomach tighten. He did not know what they were talking about, but he misread the situation. When Emily returned, she was smiling politely, but looked a little distant. Jake felt a pang of hurt and fear. He thought maybe she had moved on. Maybe she did not see him the same way. Jake tried to speak, but the words caught in his throat. He forced a small smile and helped Lily with her homework. The evening passed quietly, filled with small silences. Lily noticed the tension and asked softly, "Dad, are you okay?" Jake nodded, but his heart felt heavy. He had wanted to confess, but now he felt he had lost his chance. Emily sensed something had changed. She wondered if Jake was upset with her. She tried to reach out, but he seemed closed off. She decided to leave earlier than planned, not wanting to create an awkward moment. As she left, Jake watched her go, feeling a mix of longing and regret. He hated that he had let fear and misunderstanding keep him from speaking his heart. The next few days were hard, as Jake felt the weight of silence. He missed her smile, her laughter, and the warmth she brought into their lives. Lily noticed the change in him and tried to cheer him up, but Jake's mind was filled with doubt and sadness. He feared he had hurt Emily or that she had already moved on. The thought of losing her made his heart ache. Emily, on her side, was confused. She cared deeply for Jake, but she did not want to push him. She thought he might need space, or that she had done something wrong. She kept her distance, hoping he would speak first. Both of them were trapped in their own fear and pride, unsure of what the other felt. One afternoon, Jake took Lily to the park. He watched her play, laughing and running freely. He realized that life was too short to let misunderstandings and fear stand in the way of love. He decided he had to be brave, could not let his heart remain silent. Lily noticed his change in mood and said, "Dad, maybe you should tell Emily how you feel." Jake smiled softly and nodded. She is right. That evening, Jake called Emily. His voice shook slightly, but he spoke from the heart. Emily listened quietly, surprised by his honesty. He apologized for seeming distant, for letting fear keep him from speaking. He told her that he cared for her deeply, that he wanted her in their lives, and that he could not imagine a day without her presence. Emily felt her heart lift. She had feared losing him, and now she understood his feelings. She admitted she cared for him too, that she had been confused and scared. The misunderstanding slowly faded. Jake felt relief and hope. He realized that love required courage, and sometimes mistakes were only opportunities to grow. The part ended with Jake holding Lily's hand, feeling stronger and ready to face the next steps in his heart. Knowing that true love was worth fighting for, even through pain and confusion. After the misunderstanding, Jake was determined to show Emily how much he cared. He began small gestures to express his feelings. He left a note on her car thanking her for helping Lily with her drawings. He brought her favorite coffee from the small cafe near the park. He even offered to help in the classroom when she needed a hand. Emily noticed these acts and felt her heart soften. She could see the thoughtfulness behind every gesture, and it reminded her of why she cared for Jake. One afternoon, Lily became sick with a mild fever. Jake stayed home from work to take care of her. He called Emily for advice, and she rushed over with warm soup, blankets, and a gentle smile. Jake watched as she cared for Lily, feeling a mix of gratitude and deep affection. The way Emily moved, patient and kind, made Jake realize he wanted her by his side not only for small moments, but for all the days of his life. During that evening, as Lily slept peacefully, Jake and Emily sat in the living room. The quiet of the apartment allowed them to speak openly. Emily admitted that she had been afraid to get close to him because of her past heartbreak. Jake shared that he had feared losing love again after his wife passed away. They laughed softly at their shared fears and found comfort in knowing they were not alone. The barriers they had built around their hearts slowly began to fall. Jake decided it was time to invite Emily to a family outing. He planned a small picnic at the park where they first met. Lily helped him prepare sandwiches, fruits, and lemonade. She was excited to see Emily again. "Dad," she said, "I think Emily will love this." Jake smiled and nodded. He felt a mix of excitement and nervousness, hoping that this small gesture would show Emily the depth of his feelings. At the park, Emily arrived carrying a small basket of flowers. Her eyes lit up as she saw the picnic spread and the effort Jake and Lily had put in. They shared food, played simple games, and laughed together. Jake felt his heart swell with happiness as he watched Emily interact with Lily, seeing the natural bond forming between them. He knew that these moments, simple and unplanned, were building a connection stronger than words. After the picnic, they walked through the park hand in hand. Jake felt brave enough to speak his heart again. Emily, sensing his readiness, looked at him with anticipation. Jake took a deep breath and said, "Emily, I want you to know that you are important to me. Not just for Lily, but for me too. I care about you more than I have cared for anyone in years." Emily smiled softly and placed her hand on his. "I feel the same way, Jake. I was scared, but I care about you and Lily more than I realized." That evening, as they returned home, Jake felt a sense of hope and joy he had not known for a long time. He realized that love was built on actions, courage, and small moments shared together. He held Lily's hand and smiled, feeling that the spark he had noticed weeks ago was now growing into something real, strong, and full of warmth. For the first time, Jake believed that his empty hands could be filled with love, laughter, and happiness, and that he could build a future with Emily and Lily together. Jake felt his life changing in small but powerful ways. Emily had become part of their daily routine, and the bond between them was growing stronger. Yet he knew they still had fears to face. Both of them had been hurt before, and Jake wanted to make sure that their love could survive the challenges ahead. One sunny afternoon, Jake, Lily, and Emily went to the park again. As Lily ran ahead, Jake and Emily walked slowly behind, holding hands. The air was filled with laughter and the scent of fresh grass. It was a perfect day, but suddenly Lily ran into the crowded path and disappeared from sight. Panic rose in Jake immediately. He shouted her name, and Emily ran with him, searching frantically. After a few terrifying minutes, they found Lily near the fountain, laughing as she played with other children. Jake held her tightly, his heart still racing. Emily smiled with relief, kneeling to hug Lily as well. The moment reminded them both how much they cared, not just for Lily, but for each other. It was a fear that brought their emotions closer together, revealing the depth of their bond. Sitting on a nearby bench, Jake took Emily's hands in his. "I am afraid of losing you," he admitted quietly. Emily squeezed his hands, her eyes gentle. "I am afraid too, but maybe being afraid means we care." Jake nodded, understanding that their vulnerability was a strength, not a weakness. They talked openly about their past pain and what they wanted for the future. The honesty allowed their hearts to open completely. As the sun began to set, they walked together with Lily holding both their hands. Jake felt a sense of courage he had not known before. He realized that facing fears together was part of building trust and love. Emily, seeing Jake's effort and honesty, felt her heart full of warmth and hope. She knew that love required patience, understanding, and bravery, and she was ready to give it fully. Later that evening, they returned home, tired but happy. Jake tucked Lily into bed and whispered goodnight. He then turned to Emily and said, "I want to be with you, not just today, but every day." Emily smiled, feeling the sincerity in his words. "I want the same," she said softly. They embraced, knowing that their hearts had found a safe place in each other. That night, Jake lay awake thinking about how far they had come. The fear, the misunderstandings, the past heartbreaks were still there, but they had shared honesty, care, and courage. He realized that love was not just a feeling, but a choice, and they had chosen each other. The small moments, the crises, and the tenderness had built a foundation stronger than he could have imagined. As they looked forward to tomorrow, Jake knew that challenges would continue. But the bond between him, Lily, and Emily was unbreakable. The fear that once held him back had turned into determination and hope. He understood that love required patience, bravery, and trust. For the first time in a long time, Jake felt confident that their hearts had found the right place, and he was ready to face the future, together with Emily and Lily. The day had arrived when Jake decided to speak from his heart completely. He had spent weeks showing Emily how much he cared, and he could no longer hold back his feelings. Lily was playing nearby, helping set up a small picnic in the park, excited for the moment. "Dad," she said, "you can tell her now." Jake smiled and nodded, feeling both nervous and determined. He turned to Emily, who was watching him with gentle eyes. "Emily," he began, "I need you to know something. I have loved the way you care for Lily, the way you smile, the way you make every day better. You are the person I want to share my life with. I want you in our family, not just for a moment, but always." Emily felt her heart swell with emotion. She had hoped for this moment, but had feared it might never come. Jake continued, "I know my hands are not full with wealth or riches, but my heart is full of love, and I want to give it to you both." Emily took a deep breath and reached for his hands. "Jake," she said, "I have waited for someone like you, someone who is kind, brave, and true. I was afraid before, but I see now that love is worth taking the risk. I love you, Jake, and I want to be with you and Lily." Jake's heart leapt with joy. The weight of fear and doubt fell away, replaced with happiness and hope. He pulled Emily into a warm embrace, while Lily ran around them, laughing and clapping with joy. They spent the rest of the afternoon together, walking, laughing, and playing simple games. Jake felt a sense of peace he had not known in years. Emily fit naturally into their lives, and Lily's eyes shone with happiness seeing her dad smile freely. They shared stories, held hands, and felt the warmth of a love that had endured struggles, misunderstandings, and fear. As the sun began to set, Jake, Emily, and Lily sat under the oak tree where they had first met. Jake looked at the two most important girls in his life and realized that life had given him a second chance. His empty hands were now filled with love, laughter, and hope. Emily leaned on his shoulder, and Lily rested her head in his lap. Together, they formed a small family built on trust, care, and the courage to love fully. Later, as they walked home hand in hand, Jake thought about the journey that had brought them here. The heartbreak, the doubts, the fears, and the moments of silence had all led to this triumph of love. He understood that true love was not easy, but it was worth every struggle. Emily's presence made every day brighter, and he knew that together they could face anything. That night, Jake tucked Lily into bed and whispered how much he loved her. Then he turned to Emily, taking her hand and smiling. Together, they dreamed of a future filled with laughter, care, and endless love. Jake's heart was no longer empty, and he knew that with Emily by his side, their family was complete. The story ended with a feeling of warmth, hope, and happiness, showing that love, patience, and courage could overcome every obstacle and create a life filled with joy.